Hey everyone, welcome back to the BioNexus Health podcast, Autism Uprooted. Today we'll be speaking with Maria from Ireland. Her son has been on the herbal medicine protocol for some time, and recently he has seen immense progress with his language. I mean, like Maria likes to say, his language is just blossoming, it's booming, in fact. So he's been on the BioNexus speech protocol for a little while, and the language just started pouring in. He's made a lot of progress in other areas of being on the spectrum as well. If we can call him that anymore, I don't think we can even say that he's on the spectrum anymore. But I will let Maria speak to you more about that. So let's go ahead and welcome Maria to today's podcast.
Welcome to the BioNexus Health podcast with Dr. Jodi A. Darshaw, who holds a PhD in integrative medicine, is board certified in integrative pediatrics, an internationally recognized pioneering clinician, and author. And now here's your host of BioNexus Health podcast, Dr. Jodi A. Darshaw.
Hey, Maria. So I see Feroz is going to join us as well today. It's good to see both of you.
It's good to see you too, Doctor.
Hi, Doctor. Hi there.
Hi. So, how is your little one? How is Sean? Is he in bed by now?
Yeah, he is in bed by now.
Yeah,
He's doing really well.
very good. So can you just, can we get started with, first of all, of course, a big thank you for being here today. And I would like to, right off the bat, if we can start with what was the symptoms, of being on the spectrum that Sean had, at what age, and how old was he when you found me?
Yes. So Sean was when we found out when he was like 18 months old itself. So we found out quite early. So because my husband has a brother who is autistic, so we found out the symptoms very early. So when he was like 2 years old, we started doing his diet. So that's how we got to know you as well.
I
Uh,
see.
yeah, so when he was young, he had really, like, I think he had a very sensitive gut at that age. At that time, I didn't know. He cries all night. Like, he wakes up in the middle of the night, he cries. Even the neighbors, they come next day, they ask what's wrong, what happened, and all
Oh,
sorts.
it was that. Oh, the neighbors would ask you what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, like
Wow,
my whole family will be awake. He will be like
poor baby.
crying in pain. We wouldn't know what's wrong, what's happening. Like, so then we slowly, like, that's how we got to know that he has gut issues as well. So we started doing his diet and the medicines and everything.
Okay.
So,
So, Feroz, yes, Feroz, what symptoms did you notice with Sean, which would say that he was on the spectrum?
so just adding on to her. So, yes, what we would say is he was generally delayed with his speech. So, one of the first things we noticed was
Yeah.
that his language was very, very poor, I think,
Yeah.
for his age,
Yeah.
and very limited, hardly no eye contact at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Very movement seeking,
Yeah. Very hyper.
and he's like, yeah, so he's kind of all over the place when he's moving, climbing, jumping, and we didn't know where to start. We had no idea what was happening.
We just knew that he has the symptoms and stuff like that, but we didn't know what to do. What's like,
Right.
yeah.
So that's when I was kind of I think on my side, I was doing some research into the biomedical side of things. So I was doing for a couple of months, and I was attending these webinars, and I was kind of hearing lots of things because it was very new to us. Like,
Yeah.
for both of us, it was completely new that there's a connection between your gut
Yeah.
and these symptoms that our son was possessing. So then I think through another podcast, and I came across your name, and the appeal that kind of caught my attention was that you could use herbals,
Right.
to recover these, or I mean to kind of treat the biotoxin illnesses that that we were seeing in our son. And that's when I kind of told my wife, you know what, I've actually heard this, this name today. Why don't we give this a try? And that's when we
Yeah,
came into, your BioNexus. We, read up some reviews, some testimonials on your website, and we
yeah,
thought this was, the
yeah,
option we have to take now,
yeah,
rather than delaying it.
yeah. And then when we started doing these tests, it was like very, very clear that he has
He
had
has all
yeah.
of these biotic
And
illnesses,
like
and
we
we
were
were shocked.
shocked.
We were very
Yeah.
shocked.
First time we saw the results, we were shocked. Like
Oh,
it
with the
was,
lab test that we did?
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah, it was, he had so much going on, poor kid. No wonder he
yeah.
had so many symptoms. It had affected the gut and the brain.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. So you were shocked with the lab results
Yeah.
Absolutely.
overall,
Mm.
right? Of course, yes. And then I remember, you had, I gave you actually a pretty long, intensive, um, all natural herbal protocol.
Mm. Yeah.
And how did you manage with all of the herbs?
Like we started little by little, like obviously like one drop, like we would see a lot of reaction, his die-off symptoms in the early stages a lot. And we built it up little by little with the diet and his gut
Yes,
healing, everything. Yeah.
yes, but you managed to give him all of the herbals and little by little, building
Yes.
up slowly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the key. I mean, having die off means that the bacteria they have to die, of course. So it's good to see a die off reaction, and to minimize that, you go low and slow, which I think you were able
I
to do.
myself, as a mom, I had to learn everything about die-off and all sorts of new things. Like, and I had to unlearn many things that I thought before, like
Was
everything. Yeah,
correct, yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah. We thought which was correct, but and then I had to learn a whole like new things about him. And I know about him inside out, like about his gut and how his brain is functioning, everything.
Yes, now if he goes a little bit off track, you're like, oh, maybe yesterday he ate that, and that's
Yeah.
what causing a reaction, or yes, yeah. So you just get to know this whole other side of things
Yes,
as he
exactly.
makes progress. Okay, so you've seen tremendous progress with Sean. Can you tell us, how is his gut now? How is his brain now?
Yeah, his gut is really good. His immunity is really good. Like before he gets sick really quickly. Now his immunity is really strong. Like if we like usually when we get sick, he's the last one. Sometimes he doesn't get sick either.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
yeah, his immunity has is very good. The gut is really good, and his improvements like it's a really like a vast improvement. Like his language, his social, like before he wouldn't even see us. Now the whole time he keeps nagging us to play with him. His language day by day we see improvements with his language. So yesterday we went to the beach. He was like commenting a lot. He was like saying, I like the beach, I like the waves. He was saying the water is salty. All sorts of languages coming out of him.
Oh, wow.
Like
The water
everything.
is salty.
Yeah,
That is
he
so.
was like putting the water and then he's like, water is salty. And like he was so excited. Like before, if we take him to the beach, because of too much, like,
Sensory.
yeah, sensory, like he wouldn't even like he will be in another world. He'll be hand flapping and we wouldn't even think of getting a single word out of him. Whereas now he's commenting by himself and it's like really like wonderful seeing him like change so nicely.
Yes. Is he speaking on his own? Is it spontaneous? Do you have to prompt him?
No, he's like completely like a spontaneous language. Now he started asking questions as well. So his language is like improving day by day.
Wow. Is he
What?
bilingual?
No.
No.
So at the moment he speaks just English.
He speaks predominant. Okay, just English. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doctor, just to add, like from I think what my wife missed was, so I think before we start your protocols,
Feroz, would you mind speaking up just a little bit?
yeah.
It's a
So
little hard to hear. Yes, go ahead.
sorry, so before just adding on to what my wife was saying, before we started the protocols. His language was almost like a, it's very like, it's not clear, he's got
Yeah.
single words and he's not able to combine any sort of sentences
Yeah.
together. And then I think as we kind of, I think normally, I think every 3 months, when we kind of have our review with you, that's when we can see the progress of,
Yeah.
where he was 3 months ago to
Yeah.
where he was now.
Yeah.
And then I think the first time when we had that was that major jump, I think from no combining sentences to like almost saying 2, 3 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when we
And
thought,
even like
this,
our consultant in the beginning, she was saying that he's got apraxia because his like articulation was so bad. He only had like few sounds. And after like we didn't do much therapy
Work
that time.
outside.
Yeah, work anything at that time. After a month or two, I was like assessing his words are so clear, like car, bus, everything is so clear. That was such a
Yeah.
like a surprise for us. Like within a very short time period, that was like even like a month, I think. Within a month, like I was just trying to do with him, like his words are all clear, so clear, like spoon, even the harder words, like he's doing really nicely and clearly. It was a shock to me that time.
Yeah, it must have
I
been
can go on and on about his
oh,
speech for hours.
right. Right. No, you guys are so cute and amazing. I know, at every appointment, when I hear Maria, so enthusiastic, and she's like, the language is booming. I'm so happy he's doing so well in school. So that's when, I requested, can we talk about this so we can inspire other people? Right. So how is he doing at school?
He's doing very good. He's progressing at school as well. He's academically he's doing good. His reading and mathematics are good. He is progressing in all sorts of area like language, social, academic side. Everything is progressing.
Okay. Now, when you say socially, how is he able to manage with other children, or is it just with adults, or both?
But before he used to only like before even with adults he was only with me, so he would give eye contact only to me. So now he's like with adults he's very good. So recently he started with with his friends as well. So he's before he used to ignore the kids completely even though if they're like in the same room. Now he's interested in them and he started to approach them as well.
Okay. And have you seen his stimming reduce as well? Is it gone? Is it still there?
Steaming is like even the hand flapping, all everything is completely gone.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, that was
How is
hand flapping was one of the main thing he was like when he's getting excited, he used to hand flap a lot.
But
Now we rarely see him.
yeah, but I think nowadays it's very rare. But I think
okay?
he is I think instead of hand flapping, he is sharing it by words.
Yeah, by words.
He's
He's
sharing by
wow, he's saying
words.
wow, yeah.
I love that. How is his hyperactivity? Is he able to focus and study and settle down?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is like he was a very hyperactive, but even now he's active, but he is like even he can sit and learn. He's able to sit and learn. He
And
can do
focus,
right,
yeah.
yeah, and focus.
Okay, okay, yeah. He's playing sports, he's outdoors, he can go on the playground. Does he go outside for recess? How
Yeah,
does he do
he
with the
rides
activity?
he rides his bicycle as well. So yeah, he is like he's sportive.
And recently we've started swimming lessons
Yeah,
as well.
swimming. Yeah.
I see.
We've introduced that as well.
Mm.
And apart from that, yes, yeah, he's a very active boy, so he loves his going to the parks, climbing, jumping,
Yeah,
like trampoline, everything. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's quite active, in his outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah, but even in the park, before he used to only play in the swing. Now he's like exploring everything. He's not anxious anymore because before he used to be very anxious to climb up and slide down. Now it's like he's exploring everything. He's a confident boy now.
That is great. I do remember that about Sean is his sensory issues were quite high, right? He had problems with body awareness, with awareness of things around him. How high is something? Is it safe? Is it right? And all of that, why can anyone can anyone even guess that he's on the spectrum anymore? I would be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think
So
so.
I think we've got like some close like family friends, who say that
Okay.
if you hadn't told me about him,
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't have known. I think they could probably see that he probably has one or very two little signs,
Yeah.
but it's nothing major to say that,
Right.
Yeah.
this boy is like this or
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
But yeah, so I think we've come a long way,
Yeah.
from having those kind of comments from other kind of families as well.
Yeah. So yeah, if they always mention, if you don't say that he has
These symptoms.
yeah, we wouldn't know. That's what they say.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's always the goal, isn't it? I mean, there are no guarantees in life, but we always wish for that. And that's what, I've seen over and over again, that if you are able to keep up with the all natural herbal protocol, then whatever results you see, the herbs always do their job. So, the amount of hard work, both of you as mom and dad, most, I've been speaking a lot with you, Maria, and, all the ups and downs that we've kind of faced together, right? And it's just been fantastic. So yes, it's not a magic pill. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And here is where we are now. And, now he's got his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I would say I would say he's about 90% recovered.
Yeah.
Would you agree, both of you?
Yes, of
Yes,
course,
yes,
doctor. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it's interesting, the biggest thing is to, if possible, to catch a child with all of these biological toxins and infections and leaky gut and what have you. If we can get them clean and clear before puberty, then after puberty, you see a tremendous benefit that continues. So that is key. And of course, I mean, children who are older can also do remarkably well. But I'm just saying for younger children, so there are certain milestones, right? Younger the better. And then, if it's older, if the child is a bit older, then the goal should be at least before puberty and, as much as possible. So now it's going to be exciting to see Sean when he goes through puberty and see what additional benefits you're going to see in him. Yeah.
His journey,
Sorry.
his journey has been so like when I look back how he was even just before the podcast, we were having a chat about his growth. It's like a miracle. It's like
He's come a very long way.
yeah, he's come
come
a very long way. My prayers has been answered. That's it.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks to
yeah.
you. Like
Oh,
that.
no. I was just going to say, above all, right? More than the doctor, more than the herbal medicine, it's the prayers that matter. So that's where all the strength and all the miracles come from. That's what it is. I learned from my son's experience, right, as an autism parent myself. So yeah, I continue to see growth all through high school. It was interesting, and I always say that Brian went from being on the spectrum to being on the honor roll. You can't tell, and in high school he started his language, socialization with friends just kept on improving and improving. The higher language, the pragmatic language, where you think and problem solve and do make decision making, inferencing, analysis of the situation and then answer, right? You know how they say, don't just answer, think and then answer. And that came for Brian in high school. So that was, really interesting. And then in college, he continued to grow with his language, PowerPoint presentations and what have you. So he just continues to surprise me. I'm so proud, and I'm actually proud of all my children around the world, if you know what I mean. Sean is one of mine, I feel, and I'm just proud of you guys as well, what you've managed to achieve with your son. It's just been, um, one comment I had about Feroz, it's the very few times that I've actually seen you continuously smile like you've been today.
The whole time.
Yeah, the first time I saw you was, this dad who has, many concerns and so many hopes for his son to get better after all the research you did. So yeah, I'm glad. I mean, especially considering your family history as well, it must have had you worried. So
Yeah, definitely.
good.
And doctor, I really want to thank you how you like guided us through like even every like obviously with ups and downs, even with like specifically like guiding us throughout this journey. Thank you for that, doctor.
Oh, it's been my blessing and privilege to be able to help Sean. It's such a, I always say during my podcast before or after, but it would be fun, for me to one day travel to Ireland, and just meet everyone, Sean will be older by then because I'm planning on retiring in a few years anyways, right? So Sean will be older. And it'll be so nice to meet, all my patients in Ireland, Scotland, UK. It'll be nice to come say hello one day, Okay, very good. So I must say again, a huge thank you for sharing your story. And, I'm so glad that using all natural treatments, non-invasive, because there are many invasive treatments out there for autism as well. And the one thing that I always say is for children to keep it non-invasive as much as possible. Of course, I mean, if it is an acute situation, accident or something, then you have to do what you have to do. But it is good to understand that there are all natural plant-based medicine, herbal medicine options available out there. So, well, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, doctor.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Good
you.
seeing you both.
Good seeing
Thank
you.
you.
Well, that was so fantastic, wasn't it? To see Maria and Feroz so happy, and Maria was like so bubbly and giggling, and she's just happy to be a mom. She has a child on the spectrum that has recovered 90%. He's doing fantastic. So I hope that made your day as well. I know it made my day. And I will see you at the next episode of the BioNexus Health Podcast. Until then, keep smiling, take good care of each other. Namaste.
Thank you for joining Master Herbalist Dr. Jodi A. Dashaw, Director of the BioNexus Health Clinic and BioNexus Herbals, on the BioNexus Health Podcast, where we explore and share information and stories about recovering and healing from chronic and environmental illnesses such as mold biotoxin illness, Lyme disease, autism spectrum disorder, fatigue, Crohn's and colitis, mast cell activation syndrome, PANS, and more. Please help us grow our message by subscribing to our podcast channel and sharing the podcast on your social networks. For more information, visit bionexushealth.com.
Information within this video, audio, or text, collectively known as the podcast, has not been reviewed by the FDA. Nothing within the podcast is intended as or should be construed as medical advice. Information is for general informational and educational purposes only. Consumers of the podcast should consult with their healthcare practitioners for medical recommendations. Seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider. Do not disregard the advice of a healthcare provider based on any information from the podcast. The information within the podcast may contain information concerning dietary supplements or over-the-counter products that are not drugged. Our dietary supplement products are not intended for use as a means to cure, treat, prevent, diagnose, or mitigate any disease or other medical or abnormal condition.